Thank you for joining early. Welcome to our webinar from BSI Group Singapore on navigating the shift, ISO 27000 2022 version transition guide. And here today, before we delve in, I'll go through some housekeeping rules and then I'll introduce myself and our experts on the call. So we have just a few housekeeping stuff. First, everyone will be muted during the webinar. If you'd like to ask a question, please submit your questions in the Q&A chat box. This will help our efficiency. This webinar will be recorded. We'll publish it afterwards for those who could not make it. And we'll definitely also share the slides with you after the webinar, of course, with the recording. And so I'll now go to introduce myself. My name is Mona Bijani. I'm part of the business development team here in BSI Singapore, as well as the digital trust lead for this office. And with me is Nikki Gui, and Nikki is a client manager, auditor, tutor here at BSI Singapore. So for the agenda, we're going to do an overview of the standard itself, to ISO 27000 2022 version. Of course, we're going to talk about the benefits of transitioning to the version, the key changes for ISO 27000 2022 version, and what are the steps to the transition. As we're all thinking that, we need to by next year. And so how do we get there? And then, of course, we will end up with the Q&A section. So before I hand over to Nikki, who will take us through that piece of agenda, I just want to give an overview of who BSI is. So we have been established in 1901, so more than 120 years ago, and incorporated by the Royal Charter, which means that all our profits go into purpose. We look to create new standards. We look to give back to the ecosystems through white papers and the like. And we are also the national standards body in the UK. Globally, we look to help clients solve their biggest problems, be it a cybersecurity matter, for instance, or an ESG matter. Those are actually two of our strategic pillars. One, supporting sustainable growth, where we really try to help clients implement roadmaps for ESG strategies. And the second pillar, in which we are talking about today, is all about digital trust and digital transformation, where we look to ensure trust in digital interactions and relationships between businesses, people, and things. Just to delve into what the digital trust umbrella looks like, it is all about data governance, data stewardship, cybersecurity, of course, privacy management, cloud services, and the latest one is AI management systems as well. And we at BSI Group look to verify adoption of these international best practices. And we look to help clients really bridge those gaps in terms of bringing the frameworks that internationally have been recognized. And now I will hand over to Nikki to take us through the majority of the webinar. Thank you.
All right. Okay, good morning, everyone. This is your speaker for the day, Nikki here. Thanks, Mona, for introducing me. So having said that, it's a short session. So just to keep you aware that, what could be the major differences, from the previous versions of 27001 to the new one. And of course, a quick guide to know that, what should we do? A quick so-called action to do so in order for us to get ready, to transit ourselves from the previous version to now, knowing that the latest version started since 2022, so now it's 2024. For those who might know, normally ISO will give us 3 years of grace period to get ourselves transformed. So by the number of years counting, so next year would be the year. So in the next 1 year, what should you do then? So let's take a look. So it's a short session, but at the same time, we'll assure that you do have some basic understanding that what should we do. But at the same time, of course, the detail of it, in terms of the control, definitely require a little bit more time, on knowing what could be the actual actions in terms of risk assessment, in terms of the risk treatments, in terms of the changes need to be made there. Let's see what do we have today. Okay, so eventually after 20 minutes or so of the sessions, okay, you have these three objectives coming over to you. First and foremost, we learn how to effectively transit your ISMS to the latest version of 2022. And definitely we do have some understanding, okay, what are the latest control that we have in NXA. For those who might be familiar with ISO 27001, one of the specialty this ISO have is their NXA, okay, which they give you a lot of references. What should you do to control, okay, your risk, okay, in your organization in terms of information security? Okay, and of course, okay, we also do need to understand what is the transition timeline, by when, okay, that you must, okay. So make sure that your system is now upgraded to the latest version, okay, so that you can proceed to continue with your certification of ISO 27001. Okay, let's take a quick overview first, yeah. Okay, I believe that most of you probably already know what is the structures, but take a look first. Okay, what could be the latest versions of this 27001? All right, so I believe that everyone knows that. Okay, so what does it mean by information security? Okay, to make it clear to everyone, okay, information security is not just about confidentiality. Okay, we all know that. Okay, when you heard the words security, it's very common that, okay, we will think that it's about how we protect the information from being accessed by an unauthorized person. It's not just about that. Okay, so if you are customers to any services that your supplier is providing, so I believe that sometimes you do need the information from them that is correct, that is accurate. You also need those information to be available whenever you need it. Okay, so those are a sense of security on your side as well. Okay, to make sure that you can proceed to do whatever you want to do. So that is why in information security we talk about CIA. Very ironic, right? Okay, yeah, it is means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So just imagine that you are a customer to a bank. So I believe that you also need your information about yourself, about the numbers you have in your accounts to be confidential. But at the same time, you also do need those numbers to be accurate. Yeah, just imagine that you are just banking in some money into your bank. So I'm pretty sure you want to know the latest figure, it is accurate or not. Same thing go to the availability as well. Okay, I believe that sometimes, even before sleeping, you just like take a look at the apps. Okay, just turn it on to see whether, okay, the apps is, whether your account's information is available for you to look at. So all these things is quite common, okay, to a lot of people. Okay, so that's why information security is a combination of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. All right. So what is the information security management system that we do know about IS? So we do need a system in place to manage that as well. So it is a framework for managing information security. So as we all know, okay, there's a need of securing our information, but do you know or not what is the structured way, okay, of doing so? So ISO, okay, do give us a framework to tell us, okay, first and foremost, you need to understand, okay, what are the issues, okay, in your organization about information security. At the same time, do need to know about the requirements from all the interested parties, and all this will shape the way how we control that, how we manage that, okay, how we establish a procedure, policy, and maintaining a system that is able to make sure that, okay, information in the organization is secure. Okay, but of course, okay, the framework itself also started with, okay, the understanding of top management commitments, okay, to the way how we plan the system, how we do it, how we check about it, and how we improve it from time to time. And just for information, there are more than 84,000 sites around the whole world has been certified. Probably you are one of them here. Okay, so the number is getting up very fast. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all agree that okay, this system has been one of the most so-called trendy, okay, ISO around the whole world. Yeah, especially after COVID-19. So I believe that all will agree that almost every single piece of information of ours, of anyone, can be actually put online right now. Yeah, all can be accessible through the apps of the phone. Okay, your personal information, your banking information, your address, your phone number. It's kind of scary nowadays, but at the same time, there's a need. There's how the world evolve. Okay, there's a revolutions of how the work we do is changed from time to time. So yeah, at the same time, you have to accept the fact that information has to be put up online in that way that so okay, you can access to it at anywhere you are. But at the same time, you also feel concerned that how would this information be safe and secure? Okay, that is not being accessed by an unauthorized person. So that's why we need a system like this. So no surprise that this number is getting up very fast. I believe that probably in next month, probably another few thousands. Okay. All right. So of course, this ISO IEC 27001 has been used as a basis for other information security management systems as well. Okay. I believe that just now Mona did mention about cloud services, artificial intelligence. Yeah, those are the ISO standard that somehow based on this standard, okay, to be the basis for them. Okay, so yeah, let's take a quick look. Why do we need to transit? Okay, first and foremost, okay, before talking about the benefits, okay, let me explain to you the rationale behind this. It's very common that some things changes from time to time. I believe that yeah, the world are getting a little bit crazy nowadays. We all know that, but at the same time, we doubt that as well. Okay, so it is common things that people change, the requirement change. Okay, people tend to look for something that is more innovative, something that is more probably cheaper, something that's more effective. So when there's such a mindset, definitely there will be changes. So same thing go to the ISO as well. Okay, it's not just I would say that it's not just initiative by the ISO to change, just to make you feel why change again. But I believe that especially for a standard like this, information security, when it is about technology, okay, when it is about the information that we have. So we all agree that technology changes, advancement is changing from time to time. Yeah, last year we do not. Yeah, we probably few years back, okay, we might not hear about ChatGPT or artificial intelligence so much, but nowadays it's everything about these two things. So yeah, when this thing become part of our services, part of our products, I believe that we need to have some control about that as well. Okay, so yeah, so ongoingly there will be no control needed for new things, but at the same time, some old control, some old technology would have phased out as well. So from time to time, we do need to take a look and review, okay, the standard, okay, to see whether would that be still valid and still applicable, okay, to the world that we are living right now. Okay, so that's why there's a rationale, okay, of changing the standard so we make it relevant and make it available and make it applicable to you as well. So let's take a look what are the benefits of transitioning, okay, this ISO into the latest versions. All right. Okay, so and of course, before going to that, okay, let me show you the key changes first, yeah? Okay, so having said that, okay, as we know, okay, so since there are changes, definitely there are some main changes that we'd like to highlight to you, okay, but the detail of it, okay, will come to you whenever you come to us then. Okay, so first and foremost, okay, the international standards replaced with documents throughout. So meaning that one of the reasons why they do so because the entire ISO in the ISO organization. Okay, so they do go through changes in terms of the framework, how it looks like. Okay, so that company probably like yours who would like to integrate the system with any other ISO, they would have an even easier way of integration in terms of the clause numbers, in terms of the words and the language they use. Okay, so okay, they try to harmonize okay, all the standard together so it could be easily integrated. And of course, like I mentioned about the words, okay, it has gone through a rearranging of some English wordings, okay, to allow for easier translation. I believe that some would have agreed that some of the word being used in that previous ISO could be a little bit hard to understand. Okay, so they actually receive all kinds of feedback and they understand the needs of all the ISO implementer. So they do some changes on that to make it a little bit much easier to understand. And of course, it's some minor numbering restructure to align with the harmonized approach, like I mentioned. For example, like corrective actions and also the non-conformity has been now put under 10.2. Okay, so that in the future, if you like to add on a bit more ISO into your organization, such as business continuity, okay, such as artificial intelligence, okay, you could see, those are the ISO that looks exactly the same like 27001. You just need to look for the differences between different ISO, okay, to add in those requirements into your existing system, okay, so to enable you to get certified with another ISO again. And of course, there are some requirement change as well to define your process needs and their interactions as part of your ISMS. And also there are explicit requirements to communicate organizational roles relevant to information security within the organization. Okay, last time they leave it to you, okay, to let the auditors know who are the person in charge, okay, of this requirement. But now, okay, they have a specific requirement that you must make it clear, probably document it down. So let's take a look on the details of the changes. Okay, and of course, there's some more as well. Okay, so they remove some of the references to control, knowing that okay, in the Annex A, okay, we do have a lot of control. Okay, so now we have 93 of them. I believe that the numbers have been changed. Some of them could be obsolete already, to be removed. So I believe that because of the removal of some of the control, so we need to let you know what other control that no longer exists and what other new requirements as well. To control your information security. And definitely there are a little bit of new requirements to monitor information security objective. And there's a new clause of 6.3 in terms of planning of changes. And also there's a new requirement to ensure the organization determines how to communicate as part of the 7.4 requirements. Okay, and of course, new requirements to establish criteria for operational processes and implementing control of the processes is there as well. Since I just mentioned to you, definitely there'll be a new controls, in Annex A. So when there are new control, there'll be new criteria. What should you do? So if let's say the control is applicable in your organizations. And a little bit changes on internal auditing and management review requirement as well, to be aligned with any other ISO, with the harmonized approach. And last but not least, as I mentioned, for 10.1 and 10.2, which is continual improvements and also non-conformity and corrective actions. There's a little change on there, but the numberings are changed, but the requirements remain the same. So definitely on today's session, we'll focus on those that is very significant for those that is required, a bit more actions on your side compared to the other ISO that can actually still maintain. All right. Okay, so yeah, one of the biggest changes in the ISO is clause 4.4. We know that just now, information security is about CINA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So of course, so the few changes that you need to make in the system is you are able to tell the auditor, what are the processes that you have in the company, in terms of the procedures you have, in terms of the control you have, to ensure effective implementation of the systems. Previously, maybe auditor, we would have a bit more flexible, a little bit more lenient, to let you guide us through, what are the control in place. But now, they want it to be more structured. Probably you would like to bring up all the possible processes that you have, in managing your ISMS. For example, you have a backup policy. Probably you have something called like a firewall and a penetration test from time to time. You may have some procedure in place to do all this control. So yeah, so instead of waiting for the auditor, to get you share with us some example of control you have, probably you would like to get all these processes to be, put it like a flow chart. How does it interrelate with each other? Like a master list of control that you have. So if you already have so, that would be good for you. Now the clause 4.4 is asking, a bit more structured way of explaining. How do you ensure effective implementation of the systems in your organization? And of course, there will be a little bit more question on how you actually conduct internal audit to ensure all these systems are in place. And of course, in management review, how do you ensure the top managements are involved in reviewing the suitability, the adequacy, as well as the effectiveness of your ISMS? A little bit more question about that. But if you do have, if you feel that you do have a very effective internal audit process already in your organization, and you do believe that your top management somehow is kind of active, is kind of participative in many things in the ISMS, that should be fine, yeah? Okay, so just take a review on the current practice you have. If you think that, these few processes are not yet that clear, not yet that well structured, just do a little bit extra effort to make it a clearer picture for the auditor. All right, so having said that, now this could be the example here. For example, you can make up like a flow chart like you can see on the screen right now. So you can mention something like what is the intended outcome of ISMS in the organization. And of course, you can mention something like the strategic direction, why the company is looking forward in implementing ISMS. There must be purpose of everything that we do, right? So make it clear. So probably one picture and one diagram and also one document itself can tell us everything. So it make it easier, not only for you, for the auditor as well, to based on this simple diagram, and to venture up from there. So in the first place, why you have ISMS? Secondly, why is the reason behind the top management's intend to have this system in place in organization? And then you clear out further, what is the involvement of leaders in this system? And at the same time, you do have some, a very quick understanding of what are the contexts, how do you plan the ISMS, and most importantly, the operation part itself. Okay, there must be a lot of processes, right? Like I mentioned, like a flow. Okay, first and foremost, you might have established some policy, first an objective, and later, okay, you have your people, okay, to plan what they should do in their processes, such as understanding, okay, the threats that could be threatening, okay, their systems, and ongoingly you have set up something like server maintenance, backup policy. So link up all these processes. Either they can be concurrently running, or it can be one after another. So we let you be the one who decide how would you want to put all those processes into a nice diagram, okay, that enable the understanding, okay, for whichever want to know about ISMS, okay, in a very, I would say that in a very thorough way, okay, but it's a way that how to simplify, okay, all processes in the company. And at the same time, down there, okay, what could be the support that you have given, okay, to the system itself, okay, so they understand that these are the resources that you need, these are the resources that you might need to make sure it's being provided. Okay, so one simple diagram, probably one piece of document would have explained a lot of things, so we can actually go through it and get you to share with us the evidence, okay, one after another, okay, which in a much more orderly way. So yeah, this is one of the changes in clause 4.4 that we are looking for from you then. Okay, so again, yeah, so just so you know, a process is a meaning of how you actually link up together the interrelating and interacting activities that use input to achieve an intended result. Okay, all right, so speaking of one of the new changes, the planning of changes. All right, so okay, speaking on that, okay, just like the title suggested, okay, as we all mentioned just now, okay, changes are inevitable in our life, I'm pretty sure. Okay, not just to ourselves personally, I believe that in everything in the world as well, especially in your organization, there could be a new requirement from customers. Okay, there could be some new implementation, okay, of system in the organization, some new software. Probably you're implementing AI right now. Okay, I believe that sometimes you know that your people might be using some form of maybe a system like ChatGPT to find out answers. Okay, do you agree with that, or you want to ban people for using so? So I believe that all these kind of changes are happening around the whole world in many organizations. Okay, so before we want to make any changes, okay, to the control, okay, of the system you already have. Okay, so what you need to do is, okay, you need to plan for the changes. So meaning that auditor like us, okay, even though it is not a documented information required clause, okay, but you do need to know how to explain to the auditor when there's such changes. I mean, you add on control, you have a new software, would have required control as well in terms of ISMS. Okay, you need to know how to at least verbally explain to the auditor, okay, what are the control in place, okay, for the new software or for the new control you have in the organizations. Yeah, so that's a way. Okay, Miss Prayoga, so I'll let the team decide on for you later, yeah? All right. Okay, so yeah, so I guess again, very easy understanding. Okay, so when there are changes that could affect the effectiveness of the ISMS, do really plan it well. Okay, plan means that you need to answer the thing, what you change. How do you change it? Who is the responsible person that, okay, take care of the changes? When will you change it? And in the end, how do you monitor, okay, the effectiveness of the change? And don't forget that I believe they all agree that when there are changes, probably it might be affecting the risk that you currently have. Okay, take a review on the existing risk assessment and your statement of applicability, SOA, okay, to see whether are there any change needed, okay, on those very important documents in the ISO. Okay. All right, so having said that, okay, guys, this is a very important slide for you. Okay, so there are now 93 controls in Annex A. Yeah, it seems like the numbers is like not getting lesser, but it's not that way. It doesn't mean there's less control. Okay, they actually restructured, okay, the entire Annex A. Some of them are being combined, some of them are being removed away, and quite a few new ones. Okay, so now they have 4 categories of control. Okay, we divide them into clause 5, 6, 7, and 8. I believe that probably you know why it started from 5, 6, 7, 8, but for those who doesn't know, okay, actually this control in Annex A is extracted out from another ISO called 27002, if you're aware of that. Okay, so in 27002, okay, so the first 4 clauses is the introductions and the general understanding about how we apply control in ISMS. Okay, the control requirement is started in clause 5. So since we extract out from ISO 27002, so no surprise that it will follow the same way as well, started from clause 5. So In terms of organizational control in clause 5, now there are 37 already. Yeah, 34 existing one that you already have previously, and there are 3 new one. Okay, of course, okay, talking about the 3 new one, okay, we are expecting you to come back to us or to go through any expertise out there to know what are 3 new one. Okay, definitely, there will be more details about that. Okay, clause 6, people control. Okay, so nice. Okay, this is the one that remain totally the same. 8 control all existing. When you talk about people, yeah, the challenges roughly are the same. Okay, so that's why the control needed for people stay the same as well. Okay, in clause 7, speaking of physical control, the building, okay, the premises. Okay, now one new one. Okay, from 13 to become 14. And last but not least, the one that go through the biggest changes, which is no surprise. Talking about technological, I believe that just now I did mention. Okay, I believe that there are more in software, new ideas, new advancement that you can consider. So I also knew that as well. So now in technological control with 34 of them, 27 of them is existing. Yeah, some of them being removed already. So they add on 7 new control in technological. All right, so let me give you a quick example. Okay, what are the new control? Just I mentioned there are some 7 plus 4 plus 1. Yeah, okay, so there are about 11 new controls. Okay, take a quick look, yeah? Okay, from the clause 5, threat intelligence. Oh, I believe that sounds a little bit high-end. Yeah, I believe that it is a simple word to tell you that, okay, so in order for you to know what are the threats that could be, okay, coming to your organization, you might want to have a system in place to to keep track of all the threats happening around the whole world. So someone in the company must be able to keep the people updated. What could be the threat that might also threatening us? If you still remember a few weeks ago or last month, I guess, there's something about the blue screen things. Okay, we never know such thing can happen. I believe that such a big issue somehow triggered a lot of IT departments or MIS department around the whole world, okay, to see whether their system is actually affected or not. Okay, so people like that need to be, I wouldn't mention that it's like a CIA thing, like a Central Intelligence Agency. Okay, but they do need a process in place, okay, to create that kind of process, okay, to really understand and updates everyone what could be the possible threat around the whole world, okay, that could be possibly threatening the company systems. Okay, so the new requirements here. Yeah, same thing to the next one. I believe that last time we do not talk about much about cloud services, but now we are. Okay, so 5.23, speaking of the control on cloud services that you use. Okay, 5.30, okay, talking about how you relate business continuity into your ISMS. Okay, I believe that some company, they do have these two ISO together. If you do have a much easier for you to implement this new control, but for those who doesn't have, maybe take a look whether your BCP is already integrated with the ISMS or not. Okay, in clause 7, one physical new control. Okay, we just need to have a physical security monitoring. Yeah, sounds like CCTV kind of thing. Yeah, I believe that you have. Okay, so definitely you can take a look on the control requirement itself to see whether you have such control in place. Clause 8, okay, there are 7 of them, as you can see here. Okay, in terms of configuration management, information deletion, how do you ensure the information is properly deleted? Knowing that nowadays, there's a lot of hidden way of archiving it, okay, keeping it. There's a lot of copies somehow available everywhere. Okay, so how do you ensure the deletion of certain information is properly done? Especially some, some confidential or some sensitive data that, no longer needed, or the people is already out from the organization, or maybe there's an ending of some contracts, with the supplier that you do not no longer want your supplier to be access to your data. So yeah, there must be some process of properly deleting the information, to avoid unintended access to that. Okay, things like data masking, data leakage prevention, things like monitoring activities. How do you monitor the activity to help what your colleagues or what your subordinate, what your employee are accessing to? Okay, and something called web filtering. Okay, how do you control what are the websites that people can go or cannot? Okay, and last but not least, something called secure coding. Yeah, it's very applicable to company that, they do have their internal programmer who make their own system or make their own programs. How do you secure those coding that, outsiders may not have access to it? So these are the 11 brand new controls, that you might need to consider, while you are assessing your statement of applicability. Whichever is applicable to you, do add on to your system then. Okay, so let me take a quick look here. Okay, any extra questions? Okay, none so far. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, Okay, so not just they add on a new one. Okay, any existing one they do add on. They do have some quick update as well. Okay, in terms of the word they use, in terms of the latest best practices that you might need to consider, and they also remove some obsolete technologies that no longer relevant. Okay, I believe that they must be so. The previous version is 2013, 11 years ago. Okay, no surprise that there will be some technology no longer relevant, to our world. Okay, it has to be removed. Okay, so definitely, this slide will show you. Okay, so but of course they're also rearranging the clause as well. Okay, so that's why okay, for those who already have this I would say the control in place, if you want to really take a quick look, okay, whatever you really have, okay, how does it relate, okay, to the new ISO requirements? So this is the slide that you can take in. Yeah, for example, previously in 2013 version, if you do have the control of A6.1.1, it means it's now at A5.02. So they restructured it again. So I know that it could sound a little bit like, a big word to do. Yeah, just do it for one time. I know first time for everything is always toughest. Okay, so you can take a look on this slide. Okay, of course, okay, I believe that the ISO itself will also tell you, okay, how does it relate to the previous version? So you can have a quick check. Okay, if you are using the clause number to represent the control in your SOA, so you might want to review it, okay, and change it and update based on the latest number of it. Okay. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier as well, okay, seems like the numbers of control is getting lesser. It's not really so. They just merge, okay, 24 of them to become lesser. Okay, so that okay, as I mentioned, some of the control sounds like repeated and duplicated in the previous standards. So they hear it, they listen to your feedback, and somehow they do combine. Okay, quite a few numbers of them, as you can see on the screen right now. Okay, for example, like clause A05.11 and 12, okay, now has been combined into A501. Okay, it is not getting lesser. Okay, the control is still there. It's just being merged in one already. Okay, all right. So there's a quick look on how all these so-called being combined. Okay, so that you would have just need to okay, revise your risk assessment and also your SOA to make it a bit more simplified. Okay, based on the latest version of this ISO. All right, so the most important part of today's sharing. Okay, as we all know, okay, the main changes has been told. Okay, again, let me repeat myself. Okay, so the few things you just need to focus in your ISMS to transit yourself to the new version. Okay, look at 4.4 again. Build out a system like a diagram, like a flow chart that will be able to combine all the control you have in the company so that we can have a clear understanding, not only to auditors, to your own colleagues in your company, okay, to anybody who like to understand your ISMS, okay, to link up together all processes, okay, so that it gets clearer. Okay, what do you do in ISMS? And at the same time, okay, do add on one requirements in your system itself in terms of planning of changes 6.3, okay, because it's now a requirement that you must know how to explain. If let's say there are changes that could be affecting your ISMS, do know how to justify, okay, to the auditor why you do so, what have you done, how, who, and when will you complete it, and what could be the possible implication, okay, when the changes are made. Okay, so yeah, we just need a bit more explanation about that. But the most important one is the Annex A. Yeah, so there's not much of thing. Okay, so you just need to take a quick review again on your existing documentation that put out all the control under NSA, and whichever that is still the same one, like take a look on the numbers. I believe that all numbers change, to be honest. Okay, and then who are the one who combine, remove those that is no longer there. Yeah, just take a quick so-called check and balance, okay, to make sure that okay, your SOA, your documents is now okay, tally, okay, with the new structure of the 93 controls in ISO 27001 Annex A, and then with 4 different sections. Again, the first clause 5 will be on the organizational control. Okay, the clause 6 will be people control. Clause 7, okay, will be physical control, and clause 8 will be on the technological control. Okay, to make it align, okay, with the new one. Okay, so that so that whenever there is a needs of explaining something or getting audited, so it will be much easier. Okay, so to align with the requirements and also get the question from the auditor as well. So what should we do? Okay, in getting ourselves transit. Okay, let's take a look on the quick guides. Okay, what are the steps to transition? Okay, first and foremost, I believe that we all understand. Okay, just like we mentioned earlier, for those who might not know anyway, okay, so let me repeat again, yeah? Okay, so normally ISO would have given you three years of grace periods, okay, to finally convert it, okay, so, okay, so-called by October 2025. But normally, okay, we would not have actually waited until then only transit. Any audit that will conduct 6 months before October 2025, okay, we will already probably getting you guys to use the new versions, because no point of still using the old version. For example, like this year, let's say okay, you're going to recertify by this year, and somehow you're not ready yet, so you're asking the auditor to still using the old version. Okay, of course you still can, but the recertification, the new certificate you're going to get after you have done the audit this year, okay, will eventually be expired by next year again, because okay, your the so-called the certificate which still written 27/1/2013, okay, no matter when do you audit it, it will be expired, okay, by 2025 October. Okay, so meaning that, so by then you have to re-audit again using a new one. Okay, so that's why we always tell our customer that, so okay, any audit that's being done this year or next year, if it's somehow already come to the point that you need to go to the recertifications, or if you want to have a new certification on any other subsidiary in the company, so don't wait until next year. Okay, this year already based on the new one. Okay, so no point follow the old one, because it will actually expire by next year. So it means the certificate only lasts for 1 year. Okay, what's the point, okay, of paying the money and and doing all kinds of effort, but eventually you still need to do it sooner or later. Okay, so yeah, this is normally the so-called the quick understanding about when a new ISO system is being released. Okay, so okay, the new certification currently be started few months later. Okay, so now because October 2022 is the time they release it, so by then 2023, okay, quite a few companies already started to base on the new one, okay, to be assessed. Okay, and by 2024, okay, no initial or recertification audit, okay, to be conducted based on the old one already after 31st October. So not just 6 months, it's 1 year, as you can see that. Okay, so ISO 27001 make it very clear, yeah, on this slide. So any audit that is being done after 31st October 2023, okay, so yeah, should be done using the new one. But of course, they still give you some time to transit to the new one. But no matter how, now it's already 2024. Okay, for those who might not know what to do, okay, so using the new one, so I believe that you have some time to go until next year, October. Okay, so whether you are going to get yourself trained with the new requirements, okay, whether you're going to really take a quick look review, okay, on your existing system so that it is aligned with the new requirements. So no matter how, by October 2025, you should be by then being certified with the new versions of this ISO. Okay, so of course, in terms of okay, auditing, so definitely your own internal audits, okay, will be required to base on the new requirement as well. Okay, so because as you may know, okay, auditors like from BSI, okay, definitely will take a look on your internal audit process. Are you based on the new one or not? Okay, so make sure that you do your own transition audit as well. Okay, it can be done during a routine surveillance audit, or you can do it so-called getting a certification body like BSI, okay, to come over to you, okay, to do the recertification audit based on the new versions, okay, or you can do your own special audit just to cover the changes, okay, that you have learned just now. Okay, all audits require additional time to complete. Yeah, as we know, since it's a change, so just to let you know that whenever ISO auditor from BSI coming over to you, okay, so there would be some additional time allocated because there are new changes, new requirements. So we spend a little bit more time to look at those changes as well. Okay, all right, and of course, additional time calculated on an individual basis to see how extensive your company is. Okay, it's not just about the changes in the ISO. Okay, we always ask our clients whether there are any other changes in the company in terms of the scope, in terms of the size, okay, in terms of the complexity, okay, in the organization as well. Okay, so make sure they take a look on your internal audit process, and also when external audit come to you, so do expect that we would have changed some of the plan that you previously seen before. Okay, so and also there are probably additional time needed for those changes that you have made in your systems. Okay. All right, so yeah, have a quick look on these steps to do. Okay, first and foremost, again, probably you might want to get yourself a copy of the new ISO 27001 2022. Okay, and of course, if you really want to have a a very detailed understanding, okay, what is a control about? What are the guidelines that you can get, okay, about each control? Yeah, do get yourself a 27002, okay, so core standard as well, because it has been upgraded, okay, to 2022 as well. Okay, so these two ISO normally come together. Okay, so yeah, if you do need a copy, so you can come to us. Okay, all right. So of course, okay, like as we all know, whenever there are requirements change, normally we will advise that, okay, and every organization, okay, based on whatever we have mentioned just now, okay, have a quick gap analysis, or we so-called like a baseline, so-called I would say that like analysis. Okay, so check on your own current systems. How much do we need to do, and what are the things that we have to add on? Okay, so take a look on your existing ISMS against the new requirements, and also don't forget about Annex 8, one of the most important part of the ISO. And definitely implement and changes necessary. Gather evidence of the effective implementation, because you might expect that the auditor will focus on the changes, the evidence on the changes. Okay, those that not much change one, probably you just need to let the auditors know. Okay, so those remain. So if you want to check, no problem. Okay, but get ready. Okay, with those evidence that you have done on the changes, because I believe that everyone will be more excited to see what have you do to upgrade your own system to the new one, right? Okay, and of course, like I mentioned just now, don't forget your SOA. This is the one of the most favorite documents of ISMS. Okay, I believe you know that as well. Okay, so to reflect the new Annex A and your existing control. And again, as usual, okay, for those who understand SOA, do justify again as well, okay, based on the new control that it has, okay, which one is included, which one is excluded. Please give us the explanation. Why is in, why is it not? And last but not least, work with your client manager like us, okay, on the transition timeline for your ISMS. For example, for those who has not done so, probably have a quick call, okay, to our office. Okay, so I believe that our business development team will consult you, and probably with the help from some of the client managers to see, okay, so by when that you should get yourself transited. Maybe you have some quick chat, okay, with our client managers or with our team itself, okay, to see how much that you have not done or how much you have done, okay, so that probably we would know that, okay, when would be the best time for the transition audit, and at the same time, okay, probably let us know how much time do you need, okay, to get all these changes covered, okay, before the next audit based on these new revisions. Okay, so these are the very important steps that you must be aware. But do come to us, okay, to really plan it well, because we also do not want to give the kind of stressful push on you. Okay, we do not care what you do. We must come to you to audit with the new version one. Okay, let us know what's your concern. Let us know what is in your mind, so that we could actually help you to think about what's the best timing, okay, for the transition audits. All right. So of course, okay, definitely, I believe that as you can see on the screen, okay, so other than ISMS, there are a lot of things that we can support you as well. If you do have any other requirement that somehow come from the customers, come from the regulators. Yeah, I believe that in Singapore, okay, we are very famous as a very regulated country. Okay, so here and there's always a new act or new requirement that's applicable to us. Okay, whether it's about sustainability, health and safety, or any other internal and supplier audits requirements. Yeah, do come to us as well, which we can see what we can do for you. Okay. All right. So yeah, since I promised you a short versions one, okay, thanks for listening to us. I'll let Mona take over from me again, okay, for having the appreciation on your attendance. Mona, let me give it back to you.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Thank you so much for that detailed presentation on the transition and what is needed. Before we go into our new next section, actually we received a few questions on email, if you don't mind answering them. So Nikki, the first question is actually about training. Does BSI offer training or resources on the new controls and requirements in ISO 27022 version?
I believe that for those companies who know us well, definitely we are a providers of knowledge solutions. So yeah, meaning that definitely there will be a special training just for the changes on the ISO. Okay, you can come to us. Okay, it will be very detailed about each control, about the changes. What should you do? Yeah, so which we can't probably finish all of them within 30 minutes of webinar today.
Perfect. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, and the transition training goes on a monthly public training basis, as well as we can do in-house portions if that's the need. The next question is, what new documentation or evidence will be required to demonstrate compliance with this new version of the standard? I believe you've highlighted a few items, but is there anything else you would like to call out?
Actually, not much. Okay, so I believe that we have shared already just now. So, in terms of documented information, there's none of them, to be honest. Okay, no new documented information needed. Okay, you just need to take a quick review. Okay, the existing one will do.
Great, great. And the last question I received on email, and if anyone else has anything to put in the text box, please feel free to, is how will the audit process change for ISO 27000 2022 version, and what are the key focus areas for assessors?
Oh, I'll leave it to you guys then. I believe that the business development teams know the best. Yeah, not myself. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, to do it, if you are a current BSI customer, to do the transition, you'll need a one-day audit, which can be done on a special audit basis or can be within the surveillance audit. The key focus areas for assessors, actually, it follows the controls that have been highlighted. It follows exactly the same way an ISO standard is structured, right? But of course, the updated versions that Nikki has highlighted is what is relevant. All right, if we just...
Well, as you mentioned just now, there could be some additional time allocated for the new changes. So we would expect to see, if let's say there's a mandate change, okay, compared to the common surveillance audit we have. Okay, so yep, it could be definitely some form of changes in the cost as well, for sure.
So I'd like to close up by thanking everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Nikki, for your time as well to present this. And please be in touch in case you need any other support. If you'd like to contact us, go to our website and we'll be there to support you. Thank you very much.
All right, have a nice day, everyone. Okay, so good luck on your transitions, okay?